on His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 33, The Appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadya sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sochasanadibi yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana spesha pada sauchasanadibi yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasanadibi. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasanadibi. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasanadibi. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasana. Mataji's. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasanadibi. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vai griha kim punar darshana sparsha yesam of whom samsmaranat by remembrance pumsam of a person sadyak instantly sudyanti cleanses vai certainly griha all houses kim what puna then darshana meeting sparsha touching pada the feet saucha washing Ashana Adibi, by offering a seat, etc. Translation. Simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. The purport by Srila Prabhupada. The importance of holy places of pilgrimage is due to the presence of great sages and saints. It is said that sinful persons go to holy places and leave their sins there to accumulate. But the presence of the great saints disinfects the accumulated sins, and thus the holy places continue to remain sanctified by the grace of the devotees and saints present there. If such saints appear in the homes of worldly people, certainly the accumulated sins of such worldly enjoyers become neutralized. Therefore, the holy saints actually have no interest with the householders. The only aim of such saints is to sanctify the houses of the householders, and the householders therefore should feel grateful when such saints and sages appear at their doors. A householder who dishonors such holy orders is a great offender. It is enjoined, therefore, that a householder who does not bow down before a saint at once must undergo fasting for the day in order to neutralize the great offense. Yesam samsmaranat pumsam sadyak sudyanti vaigriha kim punar darshana sparsha parasochasanadibi. Simply by remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. So here, the science of associating with saintly people is given and discussed by Srila Prabhupada within the purport. Elsewhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's stated, Yat pada samsraya sutta monayak prasamayana sadyak punanti upashpishta swar dunyapa nusevanat. That the Ganga can offer purification only after prolonged bathing, but the association of the devotee can immediately sanctify one. Sukadeva Goswami himself, Sago Dohana Matram hi Griheshu Griyamedinam Avekshate Mahabhagas Tirti Kurvam Stadashramam. Elsewhere, later in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's stated that Sukadeva Goswami himself went to the house of the householders only long enough that it would take to milk a cow. And he did that only to sanctify their residence. So this is the business of the saintly people. They have no other business but to purify the existence of everyone around them. But if the recipients of the saintly people don't react properly as Srila Prabhupada points out here, by giving water in a proper seating place and sweet words. They have to undergo fasting. Even more so, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed this himself. His spiritual master's godbrother, who was initiated by Madhavendra Puri. He was the godbrother of Ishvara Puri, spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This godbrother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master, whose name was Madhavendra Puri. Someone said something? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Ramchandra Puri. Ramchandra Puri. Yeah, that's right. Ramachandra Puri. I'm sorry. He had a habit of causing great difficulty for all kinds of people. Even his own spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri, was on his deathbed, and he was crying out to the Lord to please make himself present before him. And this Ramachandra Puri went to his spiritual master and said, now isn't the time to be lamenting. Bhagavad Gita says, na sochati na kangchati. Don't lament. Don't be upset. Now is the time for understanding the Supreme Brahman. So Lord Chaitanya was, Madhavendra Puri was extremely upset. He said, if I see you at the time of death, I'll not reach my life's goal. Get out of here immediately. And this Ramachandra Puri kept preaching to his spiritual master. So sometime later, this offender went to the camp of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And generally the devotees in the camp of Chaitanya would invite everyone for lunch, for dinner, and give them kirtan and give them mais prasadam and take care of them, associate with them. So when Lord Chaitanya saw this is a godbrother of my spiritual master, he asked Jagadananda Pandit, I believe it was, to please take him to your home and feed him very nicely. So Jagadananda fed him nicely, and this Ramchandra Puri, after he was fed up to the neck, said, now I'll feed you. And he forced Jagadananda to eat so much puris and rice and dal and sabji and sweet sabji and sweets and more sabji with the sweet on it and more halava. And after he was done, he did what he always does. He served Jagadananda Pandit, and he said, aha, I see the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu overeat in the name of spiritual life, of Krishna consciousness. You're simply sense gratifiers, eating as much rice and sabji as you possibly can. So he stayed in the camp for some time, only to try to find fault with the devotees and with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He couldn't find any fault. He went and asked everybody the different habits of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place, and he saw that there were ants on the floor. In India, anyone who's been to India, even you haven't been, there's ants everywhere. Prabhupada said they go hither and thither, everywhere. Ants are a constant. But this Ramchandra Puri criticized Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, aha, I see you're eating sweetmeats late at night, and therefore the crumbs cause the ants to come and take over your kitchen. They're crawling everywhere. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from his spiritual master's godbrother, he immediately cut his eating in half and wouldn't accept any invitations at the home of the devotees anymore. Even the devotees were begging him and saying that this Ramachandra Puri is just a rascal. Why are we concerned with him? Still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept the vow until one day there was a great celebration, big kirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired what's happening, and they said that Ramachandra Puri has left. He is gone, and we don't have to deal with him anymore. As they say in my country, good riddance. Sometimes we feel that way. Maybe unnecessarily, but about different personalities. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again accepted invitations at his disciples' homes, at all the homes of the devotees. So this is the system. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu practically fasted. Even he was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, personality of Godhead himself, because he thought he offended, or because he was told he offended, the godbrother of his spiritual master. But it also shows that even a godbrother of your spiritual master could be a Ramachandra Puri. Don't look for it, but you might find it sometime. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the proper etiquette. He didn't treat him like a Ramachandra Puri, like everyone wanted to treat. There's also another story in Chaitanya Charitamrita full of beautiful stories. There was a Shakta. His name was Gopal Chapala. And he liked to worship Durga. But he was very envious of the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, specifically Srivas Thakur. And so one day he planned a devious plot, and he put all the paraphernalia in front of the door of Srivas Thakur for the worshipping of Durga. I think a few years back, in the mid-80s, there was a crazy man here, and he put some kind of weird paraphernalia in front of Sura Prabhu's door. Remember? And I don't know, he wasn't, I don't think, trying to show you were a Shakta and not a Bhakta, but this was the goal of Gopal Chapala. He wanted to show that Srivas Thakur was not a Bhakta, not a good devotee, but he was actually a worshipper of Durga. In Bengal, there are basically those who worship Durga and those who worship Lord Krishna, the Vaishnavas and the Shaktas. And they were very envious and always liked to cause trouble for the Vaishnavas. So sure enough, because of his offense, Gopal Chapala broke out into leprosy. His family threw him out because he was a leper. That's a terrible, terrible thing. All your fingers disintegrate, your face, worms and germs everywhere. Very rotten. Terrible, terrible disease, leprosy. They have colonies for poor lepers. So Gopal Chapala was praying and begging. Even so much so, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and begged forgiveness. Please, take this disease away from me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, just like when Durvasa went to Narayan, he was like, I can't help you. You have to go and get forgiveness from the person that you offended, Maharajan Barish. So he told Gopal Chapala, you have to go back to Srivas Thakur and be forgiven. So he went and fell at the feet, at the dust of the feet of Srivas Thakur. And Srivas Thakur was such a humble sage, he didn't even deny. When all the people in the village in the morning saw the paraphernalia for Shakta worship, he didn't even deny, oh, that's not me, I'm not a Shakta worshipper. He was like, oh, they caught me. Of course he wasn't a Shakta worshipper. It was the dastardly activity of Gopal Chapala. But when he came and took shelter of the dust of his lotus feet, because a Vaishnava is so kind-hearted, he immediately forgave. He wasn't like, well, remember the time you did this, and you also did that, and I can't forget the way you did this. That's not the Vaishnava. He forgave everything immediately. There's a verse, I think Naikatma quoted it yesterday. Bhavad-vida bhagavatas tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirti kurvanti tirtani swantak stena gadabrita. Devotees like your good self are places of pilgrimage because everywhere they go, they turn into a place of pilgrimage. Everywhere Srila Prabhupada went, that became a place of pilgrimage. His rooms upstairs, that's a place of pilgrimage. This temple is a place of pilgrimage because Srila Prabhupada came here. Of course, the deities are here. We're not trying to make that less important. But because the pure devotee, wherever he goes, even Srila Prabhupada used to walk, where was it, over by the golf course there? Cheviot Hills. Is a place of pilgrimage. When Srila Prabhupada saw the golfers, he asked the devotees, what are they doing? And devotees were excited. Oh, Srila Prabhupada, they hit the ball with a little stick and try to get it into a hole. And Srila Prabhupada was crying. He said, why they waste their time in such ways? Or when he saw the surfers, he called them the sufferers. They're in the ocean, being tossed and turned. We were sent to Hawaii, somehow by GBC, myself and Savas. And when we were there, we went on this, not a surfboard, boogie board. But it's attached to your wrist. And you ride it, I think with your whole body, I can't remember. And somehow, humongous Hawaiian wave came and threw me off. I don't know what happened to Savas. But we were thrown, and I remember my chest hitting the bottom, wherever we were, the bottom of the ocean, and all the air immediately going out fast, and then floating back up to the top. And the lifeguard came. And he asked me, where are you from? And he asked the devotees, where's he from? He's a Hawaiian guy. And he said, oh, he's from St. Louis. And he said, you, out of the ocean. Isn't it? I got kicked out of the ocean because I fell off my boogie board and almost drowned. They threw me out. I think I could go back now, but I don't think I will. So, wherever the pure devotee goes, whatever he says, that's the place of pilgrimage, and that's the holy Dham. Therefore, we're very careful to take advantage of all these places where Srila Prabhupada has been, where great devotees come to visit and preach and give their association. Many of the buildings here, Srila Prabhupada was in at different times. Especially, not that I'm bragging, but the BBT building. Srila Prabhupada came there, I was told, on several occasions. It wasn't BBT building then, but Jayatirtha, different senior men lived there. So those buildings are places of pilgrimage, and we have to treat them as such. So, if we act properly and engage in devotional service, being very careful not to commit offense to the great saintly people, to the spiritual master, then hopefully we won't get leprosy, and we can fast. You think you committed an offense to a Vaishnava, Vaishnavi, is good to fast. That's part of our philosophy, is fasting. You can do that. It's not a problem. But don't use it as an excuse. I'll get into a huge argument and then I'll just fast. I wasn't very hungry anyway. I didn't like the sabji they're serving out today, so I can get into a big fight with everybody in the ashram and just skip lunch. We can't use it as an excuse, but we give up sense gratification for the sake of becoming advanced devotee. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Yeah. So will you take him to breakfast and then engage him? Yeah. You're hoping to stay, right?